This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Boy Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Today we're going to be talking about Denver. Should they decline the team option for Nikola Jokic and give him the max? We're also going to be talking about Michael Jordan and his comments about super teams. And we're going to wrap it up with the Joel Embiid contract extension. And is it worth it for the 76ers and Joel Embiid? Let's jump in, Dave. Denver has the team option after the 2017-2018 season to decline Nikola Jokic. He's 22 right now, going to be 23 next season, and pretty much the idea is give him a max at the start of or during the offseason of the 2018 and 2019 season. Should they go this route and try to get him early on a max, or should they, keep the cheap contract of $1.5 million, which is the team option that's worth for 2018-2019, and then let him go to the free agent market where he's going to be unrestricted. If they decline his option now, he'll be restricted still.
Yeah, that's the big kicker right there, the unrestricted versus restricted free agency. That's what I'd be most afraid of, because it's kind of like the whole Hayward situation all over, and you don't want to run into that. So I think it may cost you more up front, but honestly, it's a better deal in the long run, because you lock down your top talent, and by far he is your top talent on that team. He's what you're building around. So I think, honestly, their best move is to decline the option, sign him, give him the max money, because honestly, the cap will just continue to grow, and it's not like no offense, you're not going to win a championship this year. You got the time. Spend the money on him right now. Give it time. Let the roster form around him. Go drop money in free agency the following year. It's not like you're going to need it next year, you know?
And the thing, you look at it too, if they're able to give him 5 years, I'm not exactly sure, just because he is restricted, if it's going to be 4 years or 5 years, because I know they did the same thing with Gary Harris. They gave him 4 years, $84 million. Again, I'm not exactly sure. What did Joel get 5? Because whatever they are able to give him, I would think they gave Joel 4. So, no, 5. So
Joel got 5.
So 5-year deal. Is pretty much what we're looking at. He would sign it when he's 23. He'd be 28 coming out of it. He's still in his prime then, and obviously that's going to be a max as well when he comes out of his prime, if Jokic is able to keep up this production. I just feel like it's too smart of a move to decline and then max him out, because, like you said, the cap is still going to go up, and you're going to sign him at a max that 5 years from now, when he's 28, is going to look cheap.
It's a bargain.
I think it's going to be around $33 million, $34 million, $35 million, something around then.
Yeah.
But with the cap room extending and cap room going to go up north, probably near $130 million plus. I mean, it is going to be crazy how
max
much of a
contracts
bargain
could be $45 million.
Yeah, how much of a bargain Nikola Jokic will be, not in 2018, 2019, but in 2020, 2022 or 2023.
Yeah.
So I think you look at it, and yes, it's going to cost you more money up front, and it's not really the cheapo route, as Denver, in a small market, probably should be exploring the cheapo route. But then again, you look at Utah and what you mentioned. Now Utah's depleted. None of us had them as a playoff team, even though they made the playoffs last year, was 5th seed in the playoffs last year, 4th seed in the playoffs last year. So looking at it, I don't think there's a reason not to decline his option. Yes, again, you can get him for $1.5 million, but then again, that's going to play into negotiations next year. Like,
It almost is like it leaves a bad taste in his mouth, because they aren't ready to put a max money on him yet. It's like, what more do I have to do to prove to you guys I'm worth max money? I mean, he put up an amazing stretch last year for the month of March on. It was like almost 20 points a game.
From March 1st to April 12th.
There you go. So almost 20 points a game, almost 12 boards, 6 assists, a steal, and a block. Like, the offense ran through him. They had one of the highest offensive ratings as a team when he was starting in that stretch. Like, there's no reason that this man is not worth max money. So you might as well go ahead, embrace him, give him that confidence that, hey, we're investing in you. Yeah, something awful could happen, obviously, but let's just be positive about it, and he's worth the money. Don't play the games with him. Don't try to pinch the pennies and get that one last year out of him for a bargain rate. I think I'm also sort of burned on it, because I watched what happened to Jimmy Butler, where the front office put him through so much shit trying to get a contract, and they're like, yeah, we're going to lowball you, and if you don't take the lowball offer, we're going to cut your minutes, we're going to do all this crazy shit. I understand they're in a much better situation with Jokic right now, but it's still just the concern of something could happen. I think they should just be good. I think it's a lot of goodwill towards the team, and it's a sign to the other players that they're willing to go out and pay the money if you are worth it. And that's just across the board. It sends the right message to the organization.
And you talk about goodwill in the organization. You look at what happened with the Melo situation where he just didn't feel loved out there in Denver. He wanted to go to a bigger market. If they make Jokic feel loved, if they make him feel like the guy and they're going in the right direction, especially give him the money to back that up, I feel like that's definitely going to play into the factor because, like you said, the numbers back him up as a superstar that deserves a max contract, and also he's healthy, and he's also young. Right now he's 22 years old, putting up 19, 11, and 6, I believe was the stat line that he had from March 1st to the end of April. This is a guy with has a unique skill set. At 6'11", he's got the fluidity of a small forward, of a guy who's like 6'8", who's very athletic. He doesn't look the part, but then again, he can really trim it.
I would say he definitely has, like, I don't want to call it baby fat, but it feels like
baby fat. He's got Kevin Love baby fat.
Yes.
I mean, it's different.
It's like
Kevin
early
Love was
Marc
actually,
Gasol.
Yeah. And I think Jokic can trim up a little bit. But even
absolutely.
then, right now, he's still a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And I think just, if he trims it down a little bit more, he's just going to be able to have longer endurance. But then again, he's still playing 40 minutes, 33 minutes.
So the big question with him is, okay, he has offense pretty well under his grasp. Now it's what can he provide for you defensively? Because that's obviously where the team needs to improve this year.
But that's why you bring in a guy like Paul Millsap. And you look at what Paul Millsap has done throughout his career. He's been a guy that down low has been able to be a great defender. And not only is he going to be able to hide the flaws in Jokic's defensive game for the next 4 years under his contract, but also he's going to help him develop and learn the ropes. And again, if Jokic is able to slim down and bulk up, he's going to be more of a force down low. He's going to be able to put a body on you more. And again, with his athleticism, he can really grow into a nice defender. So, and I think the biggest thing about this is he's only 22 right now.
Yeah.
And going into that year of 2018, 2019, he's going to be 23. So it's crazy to see that this guy's going to be 23 years old. You're going to have him for 5 years. 5 years pretty much was going to be a cheapo contract because yes, you're going to go away from the cheapo contract of 1.5 million in 2018, 2019.
And that hurts to do, but
you're saving a lot of money in the long run. That's going to help you build a team around Jokic, and that's going to help you get guys to help shoot around him and guys who can be defenders, because you already have Gary Harris, you already have Jamal Murray, so you have a nice two guys that can be shooters. But you still need to develop this team more because you brought in Paul Millsap. That's a nice piece, but then again, I look at the Nuggets.
He's aging as well.
Yeah, I don't think the Nuggets are fully developed in the team that they need to be. So if Jokic is the long-term guy, and they make sure he is the long-term guy by signing this max, whether it's the next year, which we think they should do, they should just decline the option and then go to 2018, 2019 with him under a max contract. In that year from 2018, 2019 to 2023, 2024, I think that's 5 years, so I'm doing my math correctly. What are the pieces that need to be put around him? Because yes, you have Gary Harris, you have Jamal Murray. These two guys are young guys, but what are the pieces that you think will complement Jokic's play style the best?
I think honestly, if you can find someone very similar to, you probably just want a three-point shooting point guard. If it's not going to be Murray, if Murray's going to be playing the 2, honestly, that's what you're looking for. It doesn't need to be anything spectacular. You don't need an amazing passer. It's kind of like what the Bucks did with Brogdon. You don't need him to run the offense, but you need him to be a viable threat outside. And that's the thing. Like, you should be able to find those guys. You should be able to kind of grow those kind of guys up, because you don't have to trust them with 100% confidence of you're running our offense all night, every night, because you're not. Your job is to distribute the ball to Jokic, who will then run through the offense himself. That is his job. So I think if you can get a point guard who's a 3-and-D threat, amazing. That's amazing. And like you said, a younger replacement for Millsap. I'm not talking to replace him this year, but like in the long run, their window is not going to be in the next 3 years. I feel like the third year maybe, and that's if everything lines up.
And that's also with what the Warriors do as well. And the Rockets team is going to be older as well. You mean look at James Harden, he's going to be in his 30s. CP3, we don't know what player he's going to be in 3 years. And then you look at the Spurs. Kawhi's still probably going to be there, but then again, what's going to be around Kawhi? What do you think? Do you think you go to a similar player like Paul Millsap, though? You go like similar build, or would you go in a different direction with at least the piece next to him down low?
I think if you could, ideal world, you go for somebody like a high-energy defender. Someone like a younger version of like Taj Gibson. That's what I'm looking for, is someone who's going to go in there, fight for boards, fight down low.
So like a Morris brother.
Yeah.
Taj Gibson.
Yeah, if you could grab one of those, That would be an excellent.
I don't know how old they're gonna
like
be
a
at the
Jordan.
time.
If they could steal Jordan Bell somehow, like that would be ideal right now. And I'm sure there'll be guys coming out of the draft, and there's guys coming up and working their ass off for it. So there are guys out there, but yeah, they need a high energy for who is mobile and who is aggressive defensively. And I think that's the ideal fit for me next to Jokic, because he will continue to work on his shot, and if he learns to make a three. Horrifying.
But even you look at him last year, 32% from three. The year before, 33% from three. He's got a decent stroke from the outside. I mean, he's not a deadly three-point shooter. But then again, this is a guy that's going to be. You don't need it if you're going to be surrounding him with shooters.
Yeah, if Murray hits a stride like we're expecting him to, that is phenomenal. You have Gary Harris locked down for the foreseeable future.
Will to throw Barton, Wilson Chandler. I mean, these guys are scorers.
They're no slouches. I think honestly, it's defense that I'm concerned with, because offensively they're up there. Like I said, offensive rating was off the charts. They're the number 1 or number 2 team. But the thing is, it's like you have to hold teams to less than 115 points, which sounds silly, but you failed to do it several times.
Well, and I think the one thing, too, is like, while these are all quality players right now, you look at Will Barton, you look at Jamal Murray, you look at Wilson Chandler, they're very quality players, but these are none of these guys that, you can't put this team up against a super team.
You need
like
an A,
Houston.
B.
You need a guy that's going to be that number 2, that's going to compete with Jokic for that number 1. But the one thing that I want to bring up, and it's a conversation we constantly have, can you efficiently build a team around a big nowadays? Because we see it more. You see the 76ers putting that money into Joel Embiid. You see the money going into Karl Anthony Towns. You see the money going to Boogie, Anthony Davis. Is it a missed opportunity to put Jokic, put a max to Jokic, because, again, a 5 isn't the guy, he's not a guard. He isn't a point forward. He's a point center. But do you think this is the right move to at least build the base of a team around a center?
I think that's a fair question. I think the answer, we don't know the answer for sure yet. In my mind, it comes down to the player and what they can bring to the team. I think a standard big superstar does not deserve a max contract. I think Andre Drummond does not. I think that Hassan Whiteside does not. I think DeAndre Jordan does not deserve a max contract.
They're still going to get it.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're going to get it because that's the way NBA and contracts roll out. Like, it's just timing. A lot of it is timing and what you did.
Got one too.
Al Horford wouldn't have given. That's the thing. Is like, you need to get someone special. Someone like Joel Embiid, who has potential to be I don't want to say GOAT, but like he has potential to be a top 10 player in the NBA. Like next year.
So does Jokic.
And that's the thing. What Jokic brings to the table is so unique and so dynamic that it's hard when you don't have an answer to this problem, because how do you stop somebody who's 6'11", who is fluid, who passes the ball out of the low post with the accuracy and style that he does? There's no answer for it yet. And when you have a game plan built around something where other teams can't answer it, you have a mismatch. You take advantage of the mismatch, you will win games.
But then again, you look at what the Warriors can do, the Rockets can do. They can just outshoot you from the outside. And 3, again, is bigger than 2. I don't know how many times I have to say that. And that's the thing. Is like,
you can say that, yeah.
You have Jokic, who's a dynamic player. Yeah. And you can match him at least with the skill there on the outside to the best of your abilities. But if you have Steph versus Jokic, as much as I love Jokic, as much as I love watching him, I'm going to take a team led by Steph, because Steph can go boom, 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 and put your team up 18 after 6 shots. Where, Jokic, yes, he can get you, threes, but if the team is playing decent perimeter defense, they can shut that down, where Steph can create that shot by his own, or he could shoot it from 40 feet out and just drain a 3. I mean, these guys
have
can
that capability.
transcend. And obviously, Steph is
the exception
outlier.
to the rule.
He's the greatest three-point shooter we've seen in NBA history.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, there's guys that can transition games more, and I think Steph, or a player like LeBron, these guys are better than an Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, a Nikola Jokic, because they have that athleticism and that skill to take over a game, where I haven't seen Jokic be able to take over a game scoring. I mean, yes, he's had some games where he's around 40 points, 30 points, but I haven't seen that consistently enough from him, because you still look at his game log, he was only averaging 19 points a game. I mean, that's you got to hit that 20 mark. And Anthony Davis has been able to do that. Boogie's been able to do that. Joel did it last year. He had 20 in his 31 games. But again, it's something that I don't know if bigs can be a number 1 anymore. I
think for me, his ideal setup would be kind of similar to, like, could you imagine him on like the Dwight Howard Orlando Magic?
I was going to bring it up too.
Like that would have been disgusting. Mm-hmm. Like, because look, the thing that LeBron does better than anyone else is create opportunities for higher percent shots for his entire team. And I feel like Jokic has the same talent in him. And people don't respect that out of him because of his either physique, his looks, his play style, and coming out of a center being the main distributor for a team. I feel like that is something they can take advantage out of because, yeah, we know this now that he can do this. That was a 20-game sample. I mean, he did a little longer, a little less efficient over the rest of it, but
yeah, he still had games where he had triple-doubles throughout the season.
The thing is like, if you can have someone who improves the team around him, he's one of those guys who vastly improves the guys around him, and if you can go with 3-and-D players, I mean, I know that's asking for a lot, and I know the price is very high on them and growing, and it will only continue to grow as long as the NBA trends in this direction. Mm-hmm. But that is a scary lineup. That would be something that, and I think they've got a couple of pieces in place right now.
The biggest thing, though, I think is, I think he has to really work on his scoring because, yes, he's a fantastic passer as a 5. He's a great rebounder, but the thing is that I look at him and I don't know if I can go to him last second shot, and he could be my true number 1 that's going to put the ball in the hoop. And especially, if he's going one-on-one, you're going to put a guy like, again, like you say LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, you're going to put your best defender on him. I don't trust a 6'11", center to be my best guy to either box down a guy like Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, or LeBron James, or take it at the top of the key and try to drive on those guys.
Yeah, and I think
as dangerous as he is.
Yeah. I sort of agree, and I think part of this is just we haven't seen enough of him running the offense. Like, we only got a small sample last year of him truly being the one. I think this year is a lot of him going to prove it, and that's why we're saying, it's a smart move, lock it down. Last year was not a sample. Last year was not an anomaly. That is who he is, and I truly believe that he will continue to grow from there.
22.
The question is like the basketball IQ of, I saw a lot of plays where he had easy shots to take, and he passed them up. Not like true Rondo, like I'm going for assist numbers, but like he hesitates in his own shot, and until he builds that confidence in his own shot and knows when he needs to take over games, that's the thing. I need that aggression out of him on a consistent basis, and then I think I would trust him more.
But then again, he's only 22.
Yeah.
He's still developing. I don't think there's a reason that Denver should not offer him this contract, but we want to know what you think. Let us know in the comments down below, or tweet us at Most Valuable Podcast if you feel so free, if you're listening to Blog Talk Radio. But if you're in the comments, definitely hit us up down there. Does Denver need to decline Nikola Jokic's team option and give him a max right away as soon as possible? Is that the smart move?